Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we're diving into a whirlwind of tense interrogations, unexpected worries, and some truly bizarre family encounters that promise to shake up Port Charles like never before. Let's start with the heated showdown at the police station, where Carly Spencer finds herself in the hot seat facing off against Commissioner Anna Devane. Even with a rock-solid alibi backing her up, Carly can't help but bristle at the pointed questions flying her way about the night. Drew Kane met his tragic end. She's not one to back down, and in a moment of fiery defiance, Carly snaps back at Anna, urging her to focus on real detective work instead of zeroing in on the most convenient target. This tension has been brewing for Carly, especially after Elizabeth Baldwin accidentally caught wind of her heated words toward Drew, words that could easily be twisted into something sinister. But Anna isn't buying the alibi provided by Jack Brennan, a man whose trustworthiness she openly questions. As she confided earlier to Acting District Attorney Justine Turner, Anna sees Jack as someone who bends the truth too easily, leaving Carly's innocence hanging by a thread in this ongoing investigation. To add more layers to this drama, imagine the undercurrents of old rivalries Resifa Sinkerly's past run-ins with authority figures in Port Charles only fuel her frustration, making her wonder if this is personal rather than professional. She's determined to clear her name, perhaps even rallying her allies to dig deeper into who might really be behind Drew's shooting, turning the tables on the very system that's scrutinizing her. Shifting over to the bustling halls of General Hospital, Britt Westburn is displaying an oddly intense level of concern for Damian Spinelli, following a peculiar sighting. It all stems from her discomfort upon spotting young James West in Spinelli's company, a scene that immediately set off alarm bells for her. Britt knows all too well that Spinelli, along with Felicia Scorpio, was en route to visit Nathan West in his room. Nathan, who's miraculously back from the presumed dead, stirring up all sorts of family complications. This whole reunion feels off to Britt, especially considering how it might affect their shared connections, including her mother Liesl Obrecht, who's no stranger to dramatic resurgences herself. Confronting Spinelli directly, Britt probes him with a sharp question. Does he really think Maxie Jones will handle this bombshell smoothly? The air is thick with unease, as if an invisible shadow looms over Nathan's return, making everyone question the stability it could bring or shatter. To flesh this out further, picture Britt pacing the hospital corridor, her mind racing through memories of Nathan's supposed demise, and the emotional toll it took on the family. She's not just worried about Spinelli's involvement. There's a deeper fear that this could unravel the fragile peace Maxie has built, perhaps even drawing in old enemies who might exploit Nathan's vulnerability. Britt's protective instincts are in overdrive, hinting at potential alliances forming to safeguard the ones they love from whatever chaos Nathan's presence might unleash. In a heartwarming yet slightly awkward moment inside Nathan West's hospital room, young James West makes his entrance, armed with a simple but thoughtful gift, 2 cans of soda to quench any thirst. Nathan, engrossed in something on his tablet, looks up with a warm smile and greets the boy casually. "Oh, hello there, James." Sounding a bit shy, replies with a soft hi, and Nathan quickly puts him at ease by confirming, "You must be James." Eager to share, James explains he wasn't sure about preferences, so he brought both orange and grape options, inviting Nathan to choose. As James approaches, Nathan's eyes light up with surprise, admitting that both flavors happen to be his absolute favorites. James, incredulous, echoes, "Really?" and Nathan affirms it with enthusiasm, turning the decision back to the boy by asking him to pick his own top choice. James reveals that orange and grape are his favorites too, leading to Nathan's astonished "No way." After a quick deliberation, James leans toward orange just a smidge more, prompting Nathan to opt for grape since it edges out as his slight preference. With cans popped open, Nathan proposes a toast, and when James asks to what, Nathan suggests celebrating their shared soda tastes, a fun nod to the father-son bond that's just beginning to form. They clink their cans together, both marveling at this quirky genetic coincidence that bridges the gap between them. Expanding on this tender scene, envision the room filled with the fizzy sounds of soda and tentative laughter, as James starts opening up about his daily life, perhaps sharing stories from school or his adventures in Port Charles. Nathan, in turn, could recount light-hearted tales from his own youth, weaving in subtle lessons about family ties, making this interaction a pivotal step in rebuilding what was lost, even as external pressures threaten to complicate their newfound connection. Meanwhile, across town, Sonny Corinthos is forging an intriguing new alliance with Veronica Ronnie Bard, the spirited younger sister of the late Monica Quartermain. Their meeting sparks an immediate rapport, centered around discussions of the formidable Tracy Quartermain. Ronnie makes it clear she's not about to be intimidated, vowing to stand her ground against any bullying tactics from Tracy. Sonny, ever the unflappable figure, shares that he's faced Tracy's wrath head-on, with her relentless efforts to push him out of Port Charles falling flat every time. As they swap stories, Ronnie hints that Monica had plenty to say about Tracy in the past, and it's possible she mentions Sonny too. Given their intertwined histories, the conversation might even veer toward Jason, whose name could pop up as they delve into family legacies and old grudges. This budding friendship feels like a strategic move for both, perhaps leading to joint plans to counter Tracy's influence in the Quartermain Empire. To enrich this encounter, imagine them meeting at a cozy cafe overlooking the harbor, where Sonny offers Ronnie insights into navigating Port Charles power dynamics. Drawing from his own experiences with loyalty and betrayal, Ronnie, with her fresh perspective, might reveal untold anecdotes about Monica's life, adding depth to Sonny's understanding of the Quartermain clan, and potentially uncovering hidden alliances that could shift the balance of power in unexpected ways. Finally, tensions escalate in the shadowy confines of the Quartermain crypt, where Tracy Quartermain and Michael Corinthos engage in a bitterly dysfunctional exchange. Amid the resting places of their ancestors, the family's deep-seated issues come roaring to the forefront as they argue fiercely, with Tracy recalling how she spotted Michael's car near Drew's home on the fateful night of the shooting and tipped him off. But now, her intentions seem more accusatory than protective, as she presses Michael for the truth, implying he had every reason, motive, means, and opportunity to be involved in his uncle's murder. If she spills what she knows, it could spell disaster for him. Michael, his frustration boiling over, challenges her outright. If she's so convinced of his guilt, why not go straight to the authorities? The crypt's eerie atmosphere amplifies their bickering, turning a place of remembrance into a battleground for secrets and suspicions. Building on this confrontation, think of the dim light casting long shadows on the stone walls, as Tracy circles Michael like a predator, dredging up past family scandals to bolster her case. Michael, defending his actions, might counter with reminders of Tracy's own shady dealings, escalating the verbal sparring into a full-blown reckoning that could fracture the Quartermain dynasty even further, forcing both to confront the toxic underbelly of their shared bloodline. Next, we're unraveling a mind-bending puzzle straight out of Port Charles involving shocking resurrections, family betrayals, and a web of suspicions that could change everything for our favorite characters. Diving right into the heart of this enigma, Port Charles is buzzing with the unbelievable return of not one, but two long-lost souls, Britt Westburn and her brother Nathan West, whose sibling bond now feels more like a plot twist from a thriller novel than a heartwarming reunion. The miraculous nature of their comebacks raises eyebrows everywhere, with whispers of foul play echoing through the town. After all, how often do siblings cheat death in such synchronized fashion without some shadowy agenda at play? Their mother, Liesel Obrecht, is over the moon, her joy practically radiating as she embraces this second chance at family wholeness, perhaps envisioning holiday gatherings and mended fences that were shattered by past tragedies. Yet, Britt isn't sharing in the celebration. Tensions boiled over when Liesel delivered a stinging slap upon learning of Britt's fake demise, a deception that cut deep into their already complicated mother-daughter dynamic. Now, Britt's skepticism shines through as she casts doubtful glances at the man claiming to be Nathan, probing his every word and gesture as if decoding a cryptic message. To expand on this familial friction, imagine Liesel organizing an impromptu family dinner at the Metro Court, only for Britt to arrive late, her eyes narrowing at Nathan across the table, stirring up old memories of their childhood rivalries and Liesel's favoritism. That might explain Britt's guarded stance today. This discord adds a layer of intrigue, suggesting that Britt's reservations could stem from unearthed secrets buried in their shared history, like forgotten letters or hidden alliances from Liesel's turbulent past with Caesar Faison, making viewers question if blood ties are enough to bridge the chasm of doubt. As we peel back the layers of this delicious mystery, the burning question looms: is this truly the original Nathan West, lying in that General Hospital bed? Or is something far more sinister afoot? The consensus among key players in Port Charles leans toward acceptance. Celie beams with maternal pride. Anna Devane nods in cautious optimism after her own brushes with the impossible. Dante Falconeri offers a supportive pat on the back, drawing from his detective instincts, and Nina Reeves shares in the emotional whirlwind, perhaps seeing parallels to her own losses. Their collective belief paints a picture of hope restored, with Nathan's return promising to heal old wounds and reunite fractured relationships. However, Britt's visceral reaction tells a different story. When she finally mustered the courage to hug him, it was as if she'd been scorched, her body language screaming discomfort and reluctance. Liesl had to practically guilt-trip her into the embrace, highlighting Britt's initial aversion that speaks volumes. Either she senses this isn't her real brother, or she's harboring a bombshell secret that could explode the entire facade. Delving deeper into this pivotal moment, picture the hospital room charged with awkward silence as Britt approaches, her hands trembling slightly. Flashbacks of Nathan's supposed death flashing in her mind, including that fateful night when tragedy struck and left the family in ruins. This hesitation might tie back to Britt's own fake death scheme, giving her insider knowledge on how such deceptions are orchestrated, perhaps involving underground networks or experimental tech that could mimic identities perfectly. Analyzing her demeanor further, it's clear Britt's not just playing the skeptic. Her eyes dart with the precision of someone who's seen too many cons, potentially linking this to broader conspiracies in Port Charles, where resurrections often mask ulterior motives, like revenge plots or power grabs that threaten the town's fragile peace. The fan community is ablaze with theories, as social media lights up with sharp observations about Britt's telling treatment of Nathan, fueling speculation that all is not as it seems. One enthusiastic viewer tweeted, "Oh Street, that's not Nathan. Britt is behind the project that created Nathan," suggesting a wild sci-fi angle where Britt might have engineered this doppelganger through some clandestine lab experiment gone awry. Another post declared, "Seeing Britt's reaction is all I needed to know this isn't Nathan at all. Bet money he's Peter," pointing fingers at the notorious Peter August, whose villainous legacy makes him a prime candidate for such a deceptive comeback. This fan-driven detective work adds excitement, with discussions swirling around how Peter's potential impersonation of Nathan could be his ultimate revenge, complete with altered appearances via plastic surgery, or advanced disguises honed from his criminal exploits. To build on these insights, envision online forums exploding with fan art depicting Peter in Nathan's guise, complete with side-by-side comparisons of their mannerisms and voice patterns. While some theorize DNA tests are imminent to blow the lid off the charade, the outpouring of opinions underscores the show's knack for blending soap opera drama with mystery thriller elements, where every hug and glance becomes a clue, and Britt's standoffish vibe serves as the smoking gun that something's rotten in the state of Port Charles, possibly involving hidden audio recordings or surveillance that Britt stumbled upon during her time away. This leads us to an even juicier layer of intrigue. Could Peter August, thought to be gone for good, be lurking behind Nathan's face in a twisted cosplay designed to infiltrate and destroy? The very idea sends shivers, as we'd loathe to witness Maxie Jones and her son James West being duped by an imposter. Their budding family moments tainted by deception that could shatter Maxie's hard-won happiness. Based solely on Britt's uneasy demeanor, the scales tip toward imbalance, opening a floodgate of possibilities from cloned identities courtesy of mad scientists to elaborate revenge schemes rooted in the Faison family tree. Exploring this further, imagine Peter, if it is him, slipping into Nathan's role with calculated precision, mimicking childhood stories and favorite habits to fool even the closest allies, all while plotting to reclaim what he sees as his inheritance. The myriad scenarios paint a tapestry of suspense, where Nathan's return might be a Trojan horse for chaos, drawing in elements like forgotten journals from Faison's lair that reveal blueprints for such identity swaps, heightening the stakes for everyone involved, and forcing characters to confront their deepest fears of betrayal. Looking ahead to what brews next in Port Charles, Britt finds herself ensnared as an effective hostage to a mysterious big boss, whose ties to the enigmatic Jen Sidwell suggest a larger conspiracy at play. Hardly a coincidence, given the recent bizarre incident where Maxie appeared to be poisoned by Deception's face cream, a product line riddled with corporate intrigue. What could be the endgame of this elaborate sting operation? One chilling theory posits that Peter, under the alias Heinrich, is maneuvering to seize control of Maxie's child, who carries the bloodline of Caesar Faison as his nephew, making the kid a pawn in a twisted quest for legacy and power. To flesh this out, picture covert meetings in dimly lit warehouses where Britt receives cryptic instructions from the big boss, her every move monitored via hidden cameras. while the poisoning plot unravels as a diversion to isolate Maxie and draw her closer to the fake Nathan. This operation might involve international elements, with Jen Sidwell providing resources like untraceable toxins or fake documents, all aimed at destabilizing Port Charles' elite and allowing Peter to emerge victorious. The connections weave a complex narrative, blending corporate sabotage with personal vendettas, and as the puzzle pieces align, it becomes evident that Britt's knowledge could be the key to exposing it all, potentially leading to high-stakes confrontations that redefine alliances and unearth long-buried truths about the Phazon Empire's reach. So, GH fans, what are your hottest takes on this delectable mystery? Is Nathan the real deal? Or is Peter pulling the strings from the shadows? Next, we're exploring the electrifying buzz sweeping through Port Charles about a possible comeback that's got everyone talking. Cool Dylan Quartermain be making a triumphant return to shake up romances, family feuds, and everything in between. The whispers in Port Charles are growing louder by the day, with insiders hinting that Robert Palmer Watkins might soon slip back into the shoes of the ever-charismatic Dylan Quartermain, a move that could ignite fireworks in Lulu Spencer's already complicated love life and beyond. Fans have been holding their breath since Dylan's poignant departure in 2018, when he chased his dreams to the glitzy lights of Hollywood, leaving behind a trail of unfinished stories and heartfelt goodbyes that still tug at the heartstrings. Now, with the Quartermain clan plunged into chaos, following the heartbreaking loss of matriarch Monica Quartermain and the fierce tug-of-war over her estate against the enigmatic Veronica Ronnie Bard, Dylan's reappearance feels like destiny calling. Picture him striding back into town, his signature guitar slung over his shoulder, ready to strum some tunes and stir the pot, perhaps arriving just in time for a tense family gathering at the Quartermain mansion, where old photo albums surface, reminding everyone of Dylan's youthful escapades and his unbreakable bond with his mother, Tracy. This timing couldn't be more poetic, as social media erupts with pleas from devoted viewers begging for Dylan's witty banter and musical flair to lighten the heavy atmosphere, potentially positioning him as the unlikely hero who bridges divides or uncovers hidden clauses in Monica's will that no one saw coming, inventing a fresh twist. Imagine Dylan returning with a mysterious script from his Hollywood ventures, one that eerily mirrors the Quartermain dramas, hinting he might have been drawing inspiration from real-life family secrets all along, adding an extra layer of meta intrigue to his homecoming. Dylan Quartermain was always that refreshing gust of wind in the often stormy world of Port Charles, a true Quartermain through and through, blending his mother Tracy's sharp business acumen with his own passion for indie films and soulful melodies that could melt even the iciest hearts. As Tracy's son, he navigated the cutthroat LQ boardrooms with a clever edge, all while dreaming of cinematic glory, making him a standout in a family known for its power plays and eccentricities. His 2018 exit to pursue stardom in Tinseltown felt like a sudden cliffhanger, leaving fans yearning for closure on his unfinished arcs, from romantic entanglements to familial loyalties that defined his time in town. Amid the current Quartermain upheaval, with Monica's passing casting long shadows and Tracy locked in a bitter showdown with Ronnie over inheritance rights, Dylan's potential return could serve as a much-needed dose of humor and heart. He might step in as a mediator during explosive will readings, using his outsider's perspective from years away to spot Ronnie's potential ulterior motives, like forged documents or long-lost letters that challenge her claims. To embellish this character revival, envision Dylan arriving with a portfolio of short films he's directed, one featuring subtle nods to Port Charles landmarks, which he screens for the family, sparking laughter and tears while subtly exposing Ronnie's weakness, perhaps a scene that parallels her aggressive tactics, forcing Tracy to confront her own past aggressions in a moment of unexpected vulnerability. Watkins himself, coming off successful stints in projects like The Bay, has dropped hints in recent interviews about being game for a GH comeback if the storyline hits the right notes, fueling speculation that negotiations are already underway for a plot that ties Dylan back into the fold with purpose and pizzazz. The fan frenzy is palpable across social platforms, where supporters are rallying with passionate posts demanding Dylan's immediate return to inject some vibrancy into the Quartermain saga. Comments like "Dylan back now, Quartermains need him" flood Facebook groups, with users reminiscing about his easygoing charm and how it balanced the family's intense dynamics, turning everyday scenes into memorable moments. This groundswell of enthusiasm underscores Dylan's enduring appeal, as fans envision him not just as a prodigal son, but as a catalyst for change. perhaps bringing along a quirky Hollywood sidekick who adds comic relief to the estate battles. Expanding on this digital excitement, imagine fan-created petitions circulating on Twitter, complete with mock-up posters of Dylan in Quartermain attire, and virtual watch parties revisiting his classic episodes, where viewers debate how his return could unearth buried treasures from Monica's estate, like hidden stock shares that Dylan alone knows about from childhood stories she shared with him. During quiet evenings, Lulu Spencer's romantic world has been a roller coaster of emotions, ever since her emergence from that life-altering coma, as she juggles the demands of co-parenting with Dante Falconeri, while grappling with his high-stakes police work and her own burning desire to dive back into journalism. The stresses of family life, from school runs to emotional check-ins with the kids, have left her yearning for something more, a spark of excitement amid the routine. Enter Dylan, her ex from those passionate 2010s days, who represented the fun, artistic side of love, a complete counterpoint to Dante's brooding intensity and sense of duty. Their past fling was all about creative synergy, late-night talks about dreams, and shared adventures that made Lulu feel alive in ways Dante's stability sometimes can't match. If Dylan saunters back with stories of Los Angeles triumphs and maybe even a custom song for young Rocco Falconeri, it could rekindle those dormant flames, leading to charged encounters at local hotspots like the Floating Rib. To invent some captivating details, picture Dylan surprising Lulu at her news desk with a demo tape of a ballad, inspired by their history, complete with lyrics that reference inside jokes from their time together, prompting her to question if her heart truly belongs in the safe harbor of her marriage, or out on the open sea of possibility. This potential reunion arc might involve them teaming up on an investigative story about Ronnie's dubious claims, blending flirtation with sleuthing as they pore over old Quartermain records late into the night. Their chemistry undeniable yet complicated by Lulu's commitments. Yet, a Dylan revival isn't without its hurdles. Don's protective jealousy could flare up like never before, turning casual coffee meetups into tense standoffs, while Charlotte Casadini might weave her own web of mischief to derail any budding romance, perhaps by spreading rumors or planting misleading evidence. Will Dylan's presence lure Lulu toward a path of rediscovery and passion, or will he simply offer the comfort of an old friend in her time of need? Fans are dreaming big, hoping for scenarios where Dylan's influence helps Lulu navigate grief over Monica or other losses, fostering flirty collaborations that evolve into something deeper, adding inventive elements. Imagine a subplot where Dylan discovers a forgotten love letter from his time with Lulu, hidden in Monica's belongings, using it as a catalyst to confess lingering feelings during a rain-soaked confrontation outside the Quartermain gates, forcing Lulu to confront her divided loyalties head-on. Social media continues to blaze with anticipation, as enthusiasts clamor for Dylan to disrupt Lulu's status quo, viewing him as the ideal antidote to her ongoing tensions with Dante, a lighter, more whimsical romantic option that Watkins' natural charisma could bring to life effortlessly. With M. Ryland's successor stepping into Lulu's role, the chemistry potential is ripe, especially amid the escalating Quartermain estate feud where Dylan could assert his own claim, while subtly courting Lulu. But questions linger. Would this be a permanent fixture or a fleeting visit? Devotees are pushing for a substantial arc, one that links Dylan to newcomers like Giovanni Joe Palmieri, perhaps through a music mentorship that drives Dante to the brink of frustration and sets off a chain of jealous outbursts. To enhance this buzz, think of fan theories proliferating on Reddit, speculating that Dylan's Hollywood connections could bring celebrity cameos to Port Charles, tying into a larger storyline where he produces a documentary on the Quartermain legacy, exposing Ronnie's secrets and winning Lulu's admiration in the process. Stay tuned for the latest GH developments and spoilers as we watch this unfold. Cool Dylan's return. Be the golden ticket to revitalizing Lulu's tale with a mix of romance, family intrigue, and sheer fun. GH might just heed the call of the fans, or leave him chasing stars in Hollywood. What do you think, viewers? Share your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for all the hottest ABC General Hospital updates.